ArtServe presents a new exhibition, Emerging Art from War-Torn Syria, War and Hope, with guest curator, Syrian-American artist Tony Khawam, now on view at ArtServe through October 23rd. You can book a guided tour and view the virtual gallery at artserve.org.
Hello, I am Tony Khawam, Syrian-American artist and curator. I'd like to welcome you to ArtServe new exhibition entitled Emerging Art from War-Torn Syria, War and Hope. A full-scale exhibition with 45 artworks by 12 Syrian-American and Syrian artists. Please join me on a guided tour now to explain the significance of this collection of artworks shown for the first time in America.
I'm in the middle of the gallery here, where we are displaying 45 works of art by 12 Syrian-American Syrian artists. Some of these artists are well established, professor of art at the University of Damascus. Behind me here is Nizar Sabur, is a professor, and other is Basim Dahdouh, is another professor, and Edward Shahda is another big professor.
Menhal Isa.
These are not just Syrians, they are Middle Eastern stars.
Some of the artists incorporated their own cultural heritage into their contemporary work.
The artists, they took 3,000-year-old icons and they incorporated it into their present work. You know, just to make it contemporary, and also with what was going on at the time because of the war, because some certain areas, for example, Nizar Sabur focused on
Ma'lula and Palmyra.
It's actually the ancient city where Christianity began in Syria. So Ma'lula was attacked and bombarded. Some of the religious icons were burned. But Nizar did not focus on the religious part of it. He really focused on the cultural heritage and the UNESCO
World Heritage Sites.
Very contemporary way, and other artists, they took some of the symbols, like Edward Shahda, for example, Angel of Death, for example, or Jesus. Even though it's not, it's about religion, but they took the image of Jesus, the crucifixion, or they took the Last Supper, just to make that translation, and you know, that Syria and the Syrian people were suffering, basically. So they made that association. And other artists here, Badawi brothers, Ni'mat Badawi and Bashir Badawi, and these are painted on wood, faces of Syrian woman or face of Jesus. But the association, again, as I explained it before, they found
in Aleppo
within
City,
2-3 blocks from their studio, the war was going on. And some of the collapsed buildings and the doors, broken doors and windows. So after the war, they went and they collected these broken doors and windows. They polished them and they start painting on them Syrian faces. So they are very powerful messages here, you know, showing an actual piece from collapsed building, using it as a piece of art. And
wow.
This is, for example, Edward Shahda is Angel of Peace and Angel of Death, and The Last Supper. And these are all contemporary work, very unique. It's his style. So they are very personalized styles. And then other work, actually by me, also some of the Aleppo urban landscapes, some of the streets that I visited myself a couple of years ago, and I took pictures of those neighborhoods. So some of the collapsed buildings, but I wanted to create something contemporary, unique, using different materials, different things, but very colorful at the same time. I want to project hope. Hope, all these artists, they project hope in their work. And that's very important to give hope to people. Some of the work here, again, in different, like, for example, this is debris in Aleppo, different debris in the streets. And it's done very semi-abstract style with some new materials, some of the yarn, dyed yarn that Aleppo was famous for many centuries. They invented the dyes. So I wanted to include that old tradition into the contemporary work. So the psychological effect on people, how they became lonely, how they became not talking to each other, and also introduce some of the icon of a bull-headed human to show how human mentality changed and how human became a beast. Another artist here is Reen Taraf. She's a purely abstract artist, but she focused on the human body. Basically, she shows different parts of the human figure wrapped in clothes or, blood in clothes, and very dark, just to give that, look that is very abstract, very, distorted, different parts of the body. So it's about human distortion. Menhal Asa, he was, here in the States, in Chicago, but then he went also to France. Now he lives in Paris, and his work also influenced by the war, so he changed the style. And he started doing some of the Damascus scenes with car tracks on them. And the reason for the car tracks is really to make that association of how human nature was, very aggressive and overran his homeland,
cities and towns.
So this is Kasyoun Mountain on the right, and this is Malula, which is another historical town, as I mentioned before.
Tire tracks, very powerful symbols here.
Because it shows how people stepping on other people for different reasons. But these are interesting, showing the town in the background, the mountains in the background. Amran Yunus, he is also an artist that was painting, focusing on the human figure and the suffering of the humans. But then he changed again. He jumps between the figuration and abstractions. And he started using the cloth again, and also cactus. Cactus have thorns, and thorns are defensive. Cactus is very defensive plant. So he focuses on cactus in all over pattern, basically, showing it in abstract, but all over pattern.
Thank you, Tony. I know we had a question on Facebook.
Actually, we have a question. We have some comments on Facebook, and we have a question on Zoom. And the question is from Mel. And Mel says, I'm enjoying this beautiful art. Can you describe the training that in Syria received in art school?
Well, here's behind me is Nizar Sabur, is one of the professors at the Damascus University Fine Art Department. So some of the artists here graduated from Damascus University or Aleppo University, but most of them are from Damascus University. And they have very good academic years. I visited the university, I toured it, I met with different students and different instructors. Basically, they have the same structure as we have here in America.
They are limited in resources and don't have good public relation, marketing, advertising, and TV campaign outside the Middle East due to the past 10 years of war. As per Andy Warhol, in the future, everybody will be world famous for 15 minutes. So now they deserve 15 minutes of fame.
These are well-known artists, and they are diverse and know about world history and world of art. They studied every period of the art world, and they created their own style. So yes, the education in Syria is great, but they need more spotlights. And here I am. I'm trying to do my best to bring it to the spotlight. And
this is a full-scale exhibition, first time shown in America.
Thank you, Tony. And we are so honored to have partnered up with you to make that happen.